this time so you can hear me. Yeah, Kawasaki Frontale are the runaway leaders at the top of J1 this season. They're currently 12 points clear of Cerezo Osaka in second. Yeah, they just look unbeatable at the moment. But today's match, it could be a tricky one because conditions are absolutely appalling. A typhoon was set to hit this region, but it changed course. However, we've still been hit by a lot of rain. It's been raining solidly now for 3 days. I dread to think what the pitch is going to be like. I saw some of the FC Tokyo game earlier, and it was like water polo. It's not going to be good, I don't think. And that could be a problem for Frontale because they like to play football on the grass. Lots of like basic passing, very quick movement, attacking. I guess if the pitch is waterlogged, that will not suit their style. But yeah, as for the visitors, Vegalta Sendai, maybe for them it might play into their favour a little bit. They can be more physical, more direct, and that might work better in these conditions. But I really hope Frontale can hit their stride tonight. Some of the players are fantastic, especially Kaoru Mitoma. Just been unbelievable this season, like unplayable. You can't stop him. Cutting in from the left, carving through the midfield, scoring goals, assisting. Yeah, really fantastic player. It's really hard to see Frontale losing this. 12 points clear now. You know, it's the champions elect, aren't they? Have I cursed them? I don't know, but yeah, they look unbeatable in the league anyway. But they were on course for a domestic treble. But last week on Wednesday, they lost in the Levain Cup semi-final to FC Tokyo. So no treble this season. The other domestic competition is the Emperor's Cup, and if Frontale win J1, they will enter the Emperor's Cup at the semi-final stage. So they've got a great chance to win it now. They won the Levain Cup last season in a really amazing final against Consadole Sapporo. I'll put some links on the screen because it was a fantastic match. Another thing that's played into the favour of Frontale this season is that they haven't had to play any Asian Champions League games. FC Tokyo and some of the Vissel Kobe and Yokohama F. Marinos qualified for the Champions League last year. But it's being played towards the end of the season and it's going to almost overlap with the league. So it's going to be a fixture like nightmare for some of the teams. Frontale don't have to worry about that because they didn't qualify. But next season they look like they will be back in the Asian Champions League. It's quite funny to think now, but in the past Frontale had a bit of a reputation for bottling it, throwing away championships, not being able to close it out. But they won the J1 title in 2017, retained it in 2018, then they won the Levain Cup last season and now the top of the league again this season. So clearly they've got over that kind of nervousness about winning titles, and they really are a machine. They just look absolutely unplayable, really fantastic to watch. I'm hyping up too much. I think it's still going to come back to haunt me in this game, but they are a wonderful team on their day. So Frontale's home stadium is Todoroki. It's got a running track, so that's not good, but it's still a very atmospheric stadium, I think. It's really striking. The architecture is like very brutal, but it's especially when it's a sold-out game, really big game. I think the atmosphere would be fantastic. Obviously, at the moment, we're still under certain measures, safety measures, but they are being eased slowly. Attendance has been lifted, the attendance cap. So I think you can now have up to 20,000 or 50% of your capacity, whichever is lowest. Also, clapping is now allowed in in rhythm. You clap in time to a chant, but you can't sing, you can't shout. However, drumming will be allowed again soon, I believe. So maybe next weekend they'll start drumming. So we are getting back to something resembling normality, but we're not quite there yet. And in addition to the COVID safety measures, yeah, the weather conditions are absolutely awful. I'm soaked already because opposition, Vegalta Sendai, they're in a bit of a mess both on and off the pitch. Off the pitch, they're suffering from some quite severe financial problems. Recently, they cut ties with their women's team, Navi Sendai, because they can't afford to fund another team. And yeah, the fans are very unhappy at the moment because they believe the club are not being honest with them and not being clear with them. So lots of protests, lots of anger from the fans. And on the pitch, it's not been great, pretty abject. They're very low down in the league. I'm not sure exactly where. They're near the bottom. I'll put the league table up on the screen. It's all very sad. I have a bit of a soft spot for Sendai, Vegalta Sendai, because their stadium was the first one I ever visited in Japan in March 2018. I went to a midweek Levain Cup match at Vegalta Stadium when they played Niigata. And yeah, I like the team. I think they've got a really good fan base, and it's just a real shame that they're in such a mess. The only good thing this season is that there's no relegation, but long term at the moment it's not looking good. So fingers crossed that they can resolve these problems. As for a prediction for today's game, obviously on paper Frontale are the massive favourites. They've been sorting teams like 5-0, 6-0 this season, but the conditions are, yeah, well, we're pretty much underwater at the moment. So I think it's going to affect the game. Yeah, it's really hard to call, but I could see this game. This is the sort of game that if Sendai have any chance, this is the sort of game they have a chance in. If they can master the conditions, get lucky, they can snatch it. So I'm going to be bold. I'm going to say Sendai to win this game 2-1. sort of person would predict Vegalta Sendai to beat Kawasaki Frontale 2-1.
I'm going to say Sendai to win this game 2-1.
Probably the worst prediction I've ever made in the history of football, maybe even possibly the worst prediction ever made. Yeah, Frontale are unbelievable. It's like magic football. It doesn't matter what they do, even if they make a mistake, the ball still finds the blue shirt. The pressing is relentless. The passing is intricate, precision. It's just like a relentless wave of pressure on the Vegalta goal. They can't even get out of their own half. It's obscene. The only crazy thing so far is it's only 1-0. And yeah, I don't know how. Vegalta, I guess to their credit, they are defending relatively solidly. They've got a lot of bodies back, but it's going to be more goals, surely. It's just non-stop. It's like crushing pressure all the time. They've got a crack, surely. Frontale hit the post, I think, once. They forced a few good saves as well. So yeah, just complete domination. It's also great to see some players like Kengo Nakamura. He's back in the team. He was injured quite badly last year. He suffered quite a bad injury, but absolute legend of Japanese football. Really classy player. Great to see him on the pitch. So the pitch is still standing up okay. Conditions are awful. Of course, it's still raining, but the pitch is fine so far. So Frontale are not being affected by that. But yeah, I think second half they're going to keep going. I can see 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. Vegalta, I think one of the things that is not great for them, they're trying to pass the ball out the back. You can't do that. It's just too dangerous. Get the ball clear. It's yeah, they can't take any chances, especially with conditions like they are today. But yeah, I think Frontale are going to destroy them again in the second half. So yeah, let's see what happens. 1-0 Frontale at half time. Here we go. Second half coming up. What a weird match. Yeah, Frontale win 1-0, but second half was not good for them at all. Vegalta came to life. So really bizarre. I hyped up Vegalta at the beginning. They disappointed massively in the first half. Then they came back into it in the second half. Yeah, they could have snatched a goal. It was looking like an equaliser was coming. Really bizarre. I don't know what happened to Frontale at half time. Just didn't come back out in the second half. The first half was completely dominant. Second half, just lacking completely. Vegalta were looking a lot stronger, passing out the back, getting down the wings. A lot of good play down the wings. Very unlucky not to get something today, really. They could have easily taken a point from this game. So yeah, commiserations to them. Frontale are now 50 would take an absolutely incredible meltdown for them to not win the league now, you think. I mean, obviously it could happen, but yeah, I just can't see it. They managed to scrape out a win today, even though they weren't playing all that well, which is always a bit of a cliche, but the sign of a good champion, I guess. The only thing that maybe will play against them is the schedule is really tough, but every team's got the same issue, so I don't think anything will really derail them too much. Let me know what you thought of the Todoroki experience and what you think about Kawasaki Frontale. Obviously, I think, yeah,